Hello, my name is Perry Frank. I am the Instructional Service and Equipment Specialist here at JCC in the JOKE department, and that is the Jaguars Office of Learning Technologies. And today I will be demonstrating or talking to you about our live studio. And we're now in the live studio. And today, as faculty member, I would like to say welcome back to all our faculty, back to JCC, and also to our new faculty as well. And today we're going to be talking about the live studio. What is the live studio? I'm glad you asked. The live studio is basically, it's a workspace that you can use for instruction. This room, as you see, it has a lot of technology. You have cameras, you have monitors, you have lights, you have microphones, you have all the devices in this room, and also you have a wonderful green screen that you can incorporate some virtual backgrounds into your lesson as well. But today, with this live studio, this space will be used for you as faculty for synchronous online learning and interaction. We're now going to cover understanding the basic operations of the live studio. So firstly, what you want to do when you arrive in this space is to turn on the equipment. Right now, you're looking at the Extron touch panel or the remote control that can control every device in this room. So first, what you want to do, if you notice on the screen, you have a start button. Simply press start. And it says, please wait while the system is starting up. And you notice now on the dual monitors, we have an image or images on the display monitor. So that will let you know that the system is now turned on and powered up, and you're now ready to go into the next step of some basic operations of the live studio. After pressing the start button and booting up your live studio, you will now be defaulted on the touch panel to the presentation screen. And within the presentation screen, you'll be able to select various displays to route your source, your video source. So for instance, if I were to click the X button on the touch panel and go back to select the source, you will now see the option for a laptop and also the PC. So if I were to bring a laptop into this live studio and attach a laptop to my HDMI cable and select laptop, I will be able to share my image of my laptop, for instance, with the right display, and then my desktop would be on my left display. So that is some ways you can utilize the presentation mode far as routing video content. To the right of the presentation mode, you have volume control. To turn up your volume, you simply press the up arrow. And to turn down your volume, press the down arrow. Also, you have the mute button to mute your audio. Press mute again to enable your audio. There's controls. And within controls, you can choose an option of various devices to control. You have displays, cameras, and lighting. Let's press the displays button. You notice now you have your left display and your right display. Both are on. If I wanted to turn off my right display, I'll press the off button. And you notice now my right display monitor goes black. And if I want to turn that back on, I simply press the on button on the right display category. And my display now turns back on again. Let's select the camera controls option. You're now looking at the camera control display. And you have the up button, which you can tilt up on your camera, and you know your camera is tilting up. And also you have the tilt down button for your camera, and this tilts your camera down. Also, you have the pan to the left. The camera pans to the left. And then you have pan to the right. And your camera moves to the right. And also there's your zoom in and your zoom out. And the zoom in, it brings your camera in a little tighter shot of this talent. And zoom out, and it zooms out on the talent. I will kind of zoom it back in, kind of frame my shot, and zoom out. Also, we have presets. And presets are a way that you can customize your various camera angles to have them set, so you would not have to keep manually panning and tilting and zooming in and out your camera. You have presets by simply pressing a button to get different camera angles that you set yourself. So if I select preset 1, it's going to zoom out. So that's one of my camera angles, kind of like a wide shot. Also, preset 2, it zooms the camera in a little closely. And then 3, it kind of pans over to the left. And then 4 is an extremely wide shot of the room. And then 5 kind of zooms in to the left side. So I'm going to bring it back out to preset 2. Kind of pan my camera over. So those are some camera controls that you can utilize as far as controlling your camera manually or utilizing the presets. Next, let's look at the lighting option. Under lights control, you have to the left, you have your dimmers, which these are all of your lights that are in the live studio, which are your studio lights. You have the key light, field light, and also you have your background lights. If you look at the lighting grid, we have 2 lights in the front, which is your field light and your key light. So I want to take the field light and select the button and move it up. And you notice my field light turns on. So now I want to turn off my field light by holding down the button again and dragging it down. And you notice now my field light turns off. But we have already created some presets for you as faculty, so you don't have to worry about manually controlling your studio lights. So we have a preset 1, which is to turn your studio lights on, and presets 2 is to turn your studio lights off. So let's press presets 1. And you notice all of my studio lights are now on. And you notice now my green screen is well lit now. It's illuminated. If I walk to the back, you see that I'm lit here, illuminated. And in the front now, my key light and my field light are on. So you should notice the difference now by the lights on myself as well, by being the talent for Live Studio today. And to turn off your studio lights, press presets 2. And all of my lights are off. One of the best practices to enhance the student to instructor engagement is the utilization of Blackboard Collaborate. Blackboard Collaborate is a virtual classroom tool designed for education. It's similar to Zoom, Google Meet, and also other video conferencing applications as well to engage your students in a virtual environment. So right now we're looking at our Blackboard course shell, and with every course at JCC, Collaborate is integrated within your Blackboard course shell. So I'm going to the left of the page, I'm going to click on the course tool link called Collaboration. And I'm going to scroll down to the Jolt Help Desk Collaborate room. This is one of the rooms we're using for this training session. And then we're going to click on the course room. The course room is the main room that we're going to use. You can also, throughout the semester, if you're going to do some synchronous online teaching within this room, you can create sessions throughout. You can create sessions for every course you would teach throughout the semester. But for now, we're going to go into the main course room. And we're going to join the course room. And we're now logged into the Collaborate space. And right now, we do have a participant in the Collaborate session. That's Miss Rachel Council, and she's online with us right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to unmute my mic. And Rachel, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
So we're now in this collaborative space, and we have Rachel Council here with us for this demonstration. How you doing, Rachel?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm doing great.
How are you?
So I do have my mic unmuted in Collaborate, and I'm going to now display some video because right now, if you notice, my video icon has the line going through. That means there's no video being shared. So I'm just click the button, and it's going to ask me, it's going to give me a video preview, and there I am right here. And I'm going to now click the share video button. And Rachel should now be seeing me live in video. Awesome.
I do.
All right, so this is one of the best practices when using the live studio. Is the utilization of Blackboard Collaborate when you are using Blackboard. This is one of the ways that you can engage your students as far as student to instructor engagement. And Collaborate is the way to do that. So right now, I'm going to share some content with Rachel. And let me open that tab. And to the bottom right, you see there is a purple icon with two arrows pointing to the left. That is your Open Collaborate panel button. I'm going to select that button. It's going to expand out. To the bottom right, you have some interactive buttons to the bottom right. Here you have your chat button for messaging. Also, this here is your attendees button. You can press that button and you can see how many participants or attendees are in the Collaborate space. Right now, there's two, Rachel and myself, but I'm going to navigate over to the button to the right. That is the Share Content button. I'm going to select that button, and it's going to give you some options of content to share. You have primary content. The option that I want to use today for this workshop, I want to go to Share Application Screen. So I'm going to click that button there, and I'm going to do entire screen for today. And I have multiple video display monitors, and the one that I want to select is Screen 2. So I'm going to select Screen 2 and then click Share. So Rachel, are you seeing my content right now?
I am. I see Google
Awesome.
Chrome.
All right, and that's one way you can share content with your students by sharing your screen. Another way you can engage your students, and I'm going to just stop sharing my desktop. Another way you can engage your students in this collaborative space is by utilizing the interactive whiteboard. And I'm still under shared content, and I'm going to select share blank whiteboard. It's going to now open up my whiteboard space. And Rachel does have access also to engage in this interactive space, as well as your students. If you give them access to share, by default, your students will be under for instance, if I go back to participants, and right now Rachel is a moderator. So as an instructor, you do have control access to change your students' roles. So for instance, if I go to attendee controls, and right now, Rachel is a moderator, but if Rachel was a student in this course, she would have a participant role, which is default setting for Collaborate, meaning the participants can only view content and also listen to the instructor. They don't have rights or access to engage into annotation in the space far as the whiteboard. So you have to change that role from a participant to a presenter. Then the student will have access to engage in the writing space on the whiteboard. So right now, what I'm going to do, we're going to do some annotation here. So grab my pencil and I'm just going to start writing here. And using the mouse, and you don't have much control to write legibly, write in a legible fashion, but that's the best I can do right now. So Rachel, if you want to grab something to engage us, you can do so also, just to demonstrate the annotation of the whiteboard.
Sure.
And you see Rachel just typed in hi there. So as far as engaging students in the collaborative space, you can engage them by sharing content, and also you can engage your students by utilizing the interactive whiteboard. Some more options as far as engagements for students to instructor engagements. You have, if I click on the open collaborative panel, then go back to share content, you have the secondary content, you have the polling feature. Polling is the way you can engage your students or assess your class as far as what they're obtaining in your learning environment. So as far as polling, I'm going to click polling, and I'll just do a simple yes, no choices. And I'm just going to say, do you like Blackboard Collaborate? Yes or no? And I'm just going to click start to share the content. And there's the polling right there that's popped up. And we got a response. We got a yes from Miss Rachel. Oh, also we got another yes from Mighty Mouse. And then I'll say yes as well. And also you can show your responses by clicking on this link. And it shows the responses to your polling. And then if you want to stop the polling, you can also hide the responses as well. And you can also clear out the polling also. And if you wanted to stop sharing, you click the stop, you click the end poll button. That ends the poll. Another secondary content is breakout groups. Breakout groups is a way that your students can have student-to-student engagement in a small breakout session. Or you can do, also you can jump into each breakout group and do like a instructor to student form of engagement also. So far as the breakout groups, you want to click this tab here, and we want to start a breakout group. You can allow attendees to switch groups if you would choose to do so. So the main room here, we have Mighty Mouse, myself, and Rachel. And for instance, if you want to pull in a group one, you can create a new group. You have your members here. So let's see. For instance, we want Mighty Mouse in group one. Put Mighty Mouse in group one. And as far as Rachel, we'll put her in group one with Mighty Mouse. And then I will, and also if I want to join that group, I can join it as well, and I can dive in. So we're going to go ahead and start. So now in group one, Rachel and Mighty Mouse should be in that group one. And as an instructor, you can also dive into the various groups also. So there's group one. And if I want to join group one, I can jump on in group one by clicking this button. And I should now be moving into group 1. And I'm now in group 1 for the breakout session. So those are some other ways that you can engage your students as far as polling and in a breakout group. Discovering tips and tricks when using the live studio. The first tip or trick that I want to show you is a really cool feature with this live studio. It's the auto tracking feature for the camera in this room. As an instructor, you may love to instruct by using your hands or by simply walking around the room to engage your students. So with this wonderful feature with this camera, it has auto tracking, meaning if the auto tracking is enabled, the camera will follow your body movement and your voice, and it will track you and pan and follow you around the classroom. So I want to demonstrate to you this feature right now. So in order to enable the auto tracking, you have the remote control right here for this room. And in order to enable that feature, you will need to go into the menu area to turn on the auto tracking. So this is a really cool trick if you desire to use it. So simply, you need to press the menu button right here. Discovering tips and tricks when utilizing the Live Studio. One trick or tip that I want to demonstrate with you today is the auto tracking feature with the camera in this room. I think it's a really cool trick for you to, or tip that you can use in your classroom setting. If you're an instructor that loves to walk around the class to engage your students and also use your hands to communicate with your students, this auto tracking feature will work wonders for you in this live studio. So firstly, what you want to do, you have a remote control that comes with the camera that I'm showing right here. You simply want to point at the camera and you want to press the blue button with the M, that's your menu button setting. You want to press menu, and also it displays the menu on your screen. Now also you want to be logged into Blackboard Collaborate. When you're in Collaborate, you want to go to, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to just go back here real quickly. And once you're in Collaborate, you're going to open up your Collaborate panel, click on Share Content, and then you want to go to Share Camera. This is how you're going to see, the menu, basically. And we're going to take the remote, and we're in the menu area, and we're going to, up here to the top, it says, it's hard to see, but it says tracking. And we want to take the up arrow and go up to tracking. And then we want to take the right button and go to the right. And we want to select on. And on will be highlighted in blue. So it's now highlight over the on tracking feature. I'm going to click this button here. See that button there? That button is the enter button, or OK. And now the auto tracking is on. So now if I were to just start walking around the room, I'm going to come over to the right, and the camera follows me to the right. Now I'm going to walk to the left side of the room, and the camera is slowly panning and following me to the left side of the room. And if I want to go back here to the green screen, it now follows me to the green screen. And I'm just going to walk back up to the front of the room. And now it's locked on me at the lecture. So that's a cool tip you can use to engage your students even more for your instructor to feel free to walk around the room and also instruct at the same time. And if you want to turn that feature off, simply press the menu button again. Then I'm going to go back up to tracking, hit the right arrow, and go down. And then you want to turn the tracking off by pressing the enter button here. And press menu again to get rid of that menu screen. And now, if I walk around the room, the camera is now following me. So my tracking is turned off. Another trick or tip when utilizing Live Studio is the utilization of your secondary monitor as a teleprompter to read scripts when you are recording a weapon video for your online students. So first we need to log into Microsoft Teams. And we want to click on calendar because we're going to do a Teams video session. Let's click the Meet Now button. Start meeting. And we already have the video camera on. And we have computer audio. Let's click Join Now. And we just exit out of inviting people to join for right now. Now let's go ahead and pull up your script, which I have one right here. And I'm going to move this Word document from the left side of the screen and drag it to the right. And let's just get it to the far left of the right monitor close as possible. And you notice that I have it to the far left side of the screen on the right monitor as close as to the camera as possible so that we can look directly into the camera by reading our script, so when we're looking far off to the right as much. So I'm just read some of the script. Hello, welcome to the virtual live studio training session. In today's session, we will be covering understanding the basic operations of the live studio, learn about the live studio best practices to enhance student to instructor engagement, discover tips and tricks for utilizing the live studio equipment. Shutting down the live studio. Before you properly shut down the live studio after utilizing the equipment, you will need to manually turn off the studio lights. The studio lights are not integrated into the process of automatically shutting down the equipment. So you need to go into your controls, choose an option, you want to choose lighting, and then select preset 2 to turn off the studio lights. And you notice now my studio lights are turned off. Now you can go in and select the power off button, and it says, do you want to power down the system? And you confirm by pressing power down. And you notice now my display monitors all have gone to black. That lets me know that my devices are turned off. And you look now at the touch panel, it goes back to the mode with the start button. So that lets me know that my system is now turned off.